And now, broadcasting live from Roanoke College, it's Front Burner.
Well, Halloween isn't until Tuesday, but Halloween starts in just a couple hours. The Board of Trustees is on campus, and I was up at 3 in the morning ordering a $1,000 phone. What could go wrong, right?
Peaceful protests turn violent.
The Roanoke Valley braces for another snowstorm.
Terror strikes again.
I'm Claudia Jacobs.
I'm Jessica Sheldon.
I'm Elijah Wilhelm, and you're on
The Front Burner.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Elijah Wilhelm, and I am joined today by Claudia Jacobs and Jessica Shelbourne for Front Burner. It has been almost a year since that fateful November night when Trump shocked the world by pulling off one of the biggest upsets in politics. Yet somehow, Democrats and now Republicans are not willing to let the results be. We've been looking into Russia's meddling in the 2016 presidential election for almost a year now, and it took yet another crazy turn this week when it was revealed that Hillary Clinton's campaign helped funded the creation of the controversial Trump dossier. The law firm for the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee has acknowledged its client's role in paying a company called Fusion GPS for opposition research on Trump. Some of that research has become the dossier of allegations about the now president and Russia. So why does that matter? Well, Fusion GPS is the research group that hired as a subcontractor the former British intelligence officer Christopher Steele, and it was Steele, working for Fusion GPS sometime after it hooked up with the Democrats, who compiled the now famous dossier. So let's be honest, opposition research is a huge part of any campaign, and both sides did it, see Donald Trump Jr.'s emails with the Russian lawyers. But it just shows that this...
But I like to remember what Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high.
...is complete crap. Jessica, you said you had some thoughts on this that you wanted to share. Go ahead.
Yes, so in order for the Clinton campaign and the DNC to construct this dossier claiming that Trump had ties with Russia, they would have had to collude with Russia themselves, which basically reverses the roles in this issue. And Elijah, like you mentioned, the law firm for the Hillary Clinton campaign literally acknowledged its client's role in funding the opposition research on Trump. Another thing about this topic is that it has lots of tentacles, and by that I mean there are lots of people involved who've played different roles here. A significant one being Robert Mueller, the independent counsel who's charged with investigating the Trump and Russia collusion, and this new release of information raises the question of if he can actually be objective enough to continue his work. And I'm not the only one who thinks this. The Wall Street Journal, although a generally conservative periodical, has been consistently resistant of Trump, and they published an editorial calling for Mueller to step down, in which they quoted that he lacks the critical distance to analyze recent revelations about the FBI's role in the issue. And also, the FBI lawyer, the government under James Comey, knew about the dossier, and Mueller's close relationship to him doesn't help. And considering this information alone, I don't really understand how people aren't seeing straight through the Democratic Party.
So how is Mueller invested in this? What is his connection to this? Do you know?
He was the one who's charged with investigating the
Right. I'm sorry, his connection to the dossier.
Well, if he was the one that was investigating it, then he should have probably known about it.
Gotcha. Claudia, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I think that with all the news that's come forward in the past few months about this, exposing the ties that Trump had with Russia, that now the Clinton Foundation, the Clinton campaign and the DNC had with Russia, isn't the slate like kind of wiped clean for both parties? Like, haven't they cancel each other out? Should we just like move on and, I don't know, do real politics, like improve the lives of people in this country?
Well, like I said, it's been almost a year since the election now, and we're still talking about this crap.
Right, because because the media like wants to keep bashing Trump over this, but now they're going to keep their mouth shut. Now that the DNC has been exposed.
Let me tell you, it was much harder to find a story on this today when I was doing research for the show than it is on some of the stuff that Trump does, because they don't want to talk about all this.
Right, and the stories that I have found have just been like, why does this matter? Well, it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Because nothing bad for the DNC has been exposed here.
Nothing bad that Hillary their precious Hillary, who always goes high. Clearly, you're not going high, chick, if you're trying to dig up dirt on him, which, like I said, is a normal thing to do in a campaign, but then you turn around and criticize him for doing it. Meanwhile, you're doing it yourself, just behind closed doors a little bit more.
Right. And you can't be a hypocrite saying that, he has colluded with the Russians to help win the campaign whenever your entire foundation that you've built, the Clinton Foundation, regularly accepts money from tons of different controversial foreign aids.
Right.
Like,
Hillary, I'm sorry, but Hillary is just so corrupt. Everything she does seems, look at the way they rigged the primaries, the whole meeting with Loretta Lynch, which has now come under more scrutiny because it clearly had something to do with the investigation. Just everything that comes out about Hillary is corruption.
And then she bashed Trump by
right.
saying
And
that
Trump is not perfect. Trump is in no way, doing everything that he should be. But you need to clean the crap off your own back porch before you go and try to clean his.
Amen.
Honestly.
Yeah.
This is what is my big issue with it. He can do, or she can do whatever she wants to, with corruption or whatever. I don't care because she's not in the public spotlight anymore. But don't be going to, try to bash other people when you're doing the exact same thing yourself.
Right. I just really wish that with what's come forward just recently about the whole dossier and Trump and Russia, that they'd just be like, okay, you caught us, we're even, let's move on.
Yeah.
Because it's getting really annoying. The election happened, Trump won, people voted for him, it's over. Like, nothing that you can dig up or try and plant on him is going to change the results of that.
Right.
Hunker down for the next 3 years if you have a problem with it, and be proactive in the next campaign, and maybe, win. You guys aren't used to that, but...
Right. What's the best case scenario here? Best case scenario for them.
Right.
They impeach Trump and end up with President Pence, who has even stronger views about things than Trump does?
Yeah.
Is that what they're really going for here?
Yeah,
Are
like,
they gonna
you're not going to win.
No. So let's say they impeach both Trump and Pence. So then what? We're going to get Rex Tillerson? Is that Secretary of State? Isn't that next?
I think so.
Yeah. He's like an ExxonMobil person. They're not going to like that either.
No.
You lost the election, which means you have 4 years of things not the way you want it. Republicans just had 8 years of things not the way they wanted it.
Yeah.
You didn't see them impeaching Obama. They may have tried a little bit. But, get over it.
And then they want to complain about just how divided the nation is, yet all they're doing right now is just digging up all this dirt on people and talking about it and just fueling the fire instead of continuing their agenda which is about apparently helping people and doing good and bringing people together. Like, I don't know, do that instead of just sitting around complaining about what happened a year ago.
To me, it seems like a lot of the divide comes, and this is in politics, but this is also in other things. This is in my opinion, race. This is in all this kind of stuff. A lot of the divide comes from the people complaining about the divide.
Just harping on it.
Because they put divide where it actually isn't.
Right. Yeah.
They are making such a big deal out of it that it's making a divide that didn't exist in the first place.
Right.
Now, there are, of course, some racist people. There are some people who are Republicans who wouldn't talk to Democrats, who are Democrats who wouldn't talk to Republicans. The divide is there. But by bringing it up all of the freaking time and making that all that you talk about, you are deepening the divide so much, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Jessica, your thoughts on the divide?
It's apparent, obviously. And I totally agree with what Claudia said. It happened. Donald Trump is the president of every single person in the United States. And
hashtag not my president.
Hashtag yes.
He is. President. Yes, he is.
And, the Democrats are claiming that the Republicans colluded with Russia when they did. So it's just kind of like it's back and forth over and over again, and it's not helping anything. It's not keeping anybody out of office or keeping anybody in office. So it's basically irrelevant material.
Right. I feel like the Democrats think somehow that Congress or whomever is going to go, oh, you know what? Trump did collude with Russia. Okay, well, we're going to remove all the Republicans from the White House, the Congress, the Senate, all of that stuff. They're all going to be gone. And then we'll just put Democrats in all these positions because apparently Trump is such a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, is that what you're expecting, Democrats?
Because it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. And if you think we're offensive now, just wait as the show goes on. We'll be right back. You're listening to Front Burner on WRKE 100.3.
She came to me and rolled the wine.
Welcome back to Front Burner on WRKE 100.3. Democrats and the media are supporting two Republican senators, Jeff Flake and Bob Corker. Why? Because their stinging criticism of Donald Trump matches what many have said, and the indictment delivered by the two Republican senators gives the media a cover to shine a spotlight on this harsh assessment without appearing partisan. Take a listen to what Flake said.
We must stop pretending that the degradation of our politics and the conduct of some in our executive branch are normal. They are not normal. Reckless, outrageous, and undignified behavior has become excused and countenanced as telling it like it is, when it is actually just reckless, outrageous, and undignified. When a leader correctly identifies real hurt and insecurity in our country and instead of addressing it goes to look for someone to blame, there is perhaps nothing more devastating to a pluralistic society. When the next generation asks us, why didn't you do something? Why didn't you speak up? What are we going to say? Mr. President, I rise today to say enough. I have children and grandchildren to answer to, and so, Mr. President, I will not be complicit or silent. If I have been critical, it is not because I relish criticizing the behavior of the President of the United States. If I have been critical, it is because I believe it is my obligation to do so, and as a matter and duty of conscience. I've decided that I would be better able to represent the people of Arizona and to better serve my country and my conscience by freeing myself of the political consideration that consumed far too much bandwidth and would cause me to compromise far too many principles. To that end, I am announcing today that my service in the Senate will conclude at the end of my term in early January 2019.
But if Flake and Corker are so appalled by Trump's conduct in office, why are they both quitting? Flake had said that he couldn't win the GOP nomination back in Arizona without catering to Trump and Trump voters, something he is unwilling to do. Corker has just said he wanted to be done after representing Tennessee for 2 terms. The very act of saying they won't run again means they are instant lame ducks with dwindling political power and won't be around after 2018. It seems unlikely that many Republicans will join this emerging anti-Donald caucus because most of them want to hang on to their jobs. So while Flake and Corker can feel good about the press clippings, they're also stuck with the less flattering narrative that Trump has driven them out of the Senate.
Right. I feel like Trump has won with these people. They're talking about, we have to stand up. What am I going to, he said, what am I going to tell the next generation? Why didn't you do something? What you're doing is quitting. Mm-hmm. You're not doing anything to help. You're quitting.
Yeah,
No,
you know what? How
not at
about
all.
why didn't you do something?
Right.
You backing down, you removing your ability to have a voice in all this.
Right.
Is just helping the other side.
Here's
Yeah,
the
it
thing.
is. It
If
totally
you
is.
really don't care about re-election, then just say what you're going to say and still run for re-election. If you're going to lose, then you're going to lose. But if that's, he's saying, I'm not going to run again so I can, talk how I really believe. No, just talk how you really believe. And if what you're saying is true, people will probably like it and you'll be re-elected. That's why Trump, who doesn't say the politically correct things, still wins the election because he said what people didn't like but knew was true.
Yes, exactly. And something to add to that is that Flake is establishment. Like, meaning he's bureaucratic, he's status quo, and there's
Right.
no change. And it's definitely a change to have a president in office who focuses primarily on America's best interests and not trying to be pals with every person and every other nation
Superheroes.
on the planet. Yeah.
Superheroes,
So-
exactly what we try to be sometimes.
And if he's so against running for re-election in an area where he'd have to cater to Trump voters, he needs to remember that those same people elected him for office the first time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing has changed. Have they suddenly become like anarchists and just terrible people by voting for Trump? And they voted for you too? Like,
Right.
Isn't
They
that a bit of a
voted,
double
first of all,
standard?
for your party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The president that was for your party. So,
But
go
like
ahead.
I get being personally opposed to something and choosing to remove yourself from the having to do that. You know, that's commendable. But just the way that he's doing it is like such a politician move.
But here's to me why it's not even commendable, because he and Corker and the other guy, whatever, Flake, are setting a precedent that if you stand up to Donald Trump, you are getting kicked out of the Senate. So if he really has a problem with what Trump is doing and what Trump is saying, he is screwing everybody else that is interested in speaking out against it, because he's now sending the message that if you speak out against Trump, this is what happens to you. You can't run for re-election because you can't win.
Yeah.
So I think he's doing a disservice to the beliefs he says he has, because he's making it so that no one else can follow suit.
Right. Yeah.
Because who's going to now watch what happened to these two senators and go, oh, that's a great idea. I should do that. I should lose my job. That sounds awesome. Right?
Yeah.
What?
No. Yeah, I agree with that. I just it makes us sound like not so much of a democracy or a republic anymore whenever we have a situation like this that is kind of just summed up into people speaking their mind and losing their seat in the Senate over
Right,
it.
I agree with that.
That sounds absolutely terrible.
I agree with that. That's why I'm saying they shouldn't have done this. I'm not saying they shouldn't have spoken out against Trump. That's their right. They shouldn't have quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, because it makes it look a lot worse than it actually is.
Right, and that's
Yeah,
what I'm
it
saying.
really does.
And now people are going to be scared to speak out because they feel like they have to quit after they do.
Right.
Speak out, speak your mind, and then stand up for what you believe in.
Because you have your term no matter what.
Right.
And if your constituency doesn't reelect you, then they don't reelect you, and you're out of touch with what your constituency wants.
Right, and I don't care what kind of crap you're going to say. You cannot serve the public better from outside of politics. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You're not going to be more influential outside of politics. Come on.
And here again, it kind of seems like they have this idea that, oh, I'll act like I was bullied out of the Senate, and then all of a sudden Congress might decide, Trump's a bad guy. We should, get rid of the Republicans, like you were saying. The same scenario. We'll get rid of all the Republicans in office, and everyone gets a new seat. Like, we'll just drain the swamp.
It doesn't work that way, and you guys are hurting your own party, and more importantly, you're hurting your own cause.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with a lighter note, Game Time, right here on Front Burner on WRKE 100.3.
I've been seeing your soul.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's game time.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
All right, everybody, it is game time on Front Burner. And in the spirit of the holiday, today's game is Halloween trivia. So this is going to work. I will give both of our players here a Halloween trivia question. I will then give them 4 multiple choice answers. Once I finish reading the answers, the first person to buzz in gets to guess. If they get it right, they get a point. If they get it wrong, the other person tries to guess with the 3 remaining answers. The first person to 7 points total is the winner. However, if no one is at 5 points after 10 questions, then we'll bump it down to the first person to score 5 points. Okay? Everyone good?
Yep.
All right. Here is our first question. Also, I'll say you can buzz in before I finish reading if you want to, but I will stop as soon as you buzz in, so you won't get to hear the rest of the choices if you buzz in early. Okay? Good? Okay. The first jack-o'-lanterns were made out of what? Is it A, coconuts, B, turnips, C, pumpkins, or D, watermelons? Claudia.
Pumpkins.
She says pumpkins, and she is incorrect. It is not pumpkins. Jessica, what is your guess?
The first jack-o'-lanterns?
Yes.
Coconuts?
She says coconuts. She is also incorrect. What? It is turnips. A piece of coal was inserted into the hollow turnip, and the lantern was meant to guide the way of poor old Jack, who wasn't welcome in heaven, but was also barred from entering hell for tricking the devil?
He wasn't allowed to turn up.
Oh my God. Should have known you were going to make a joke about
turnip being hollow.
Well, they would
How is it
hollow it
even-
out, I guess.
But a turnip isn't that.
And you put
Why?
coal in it to make it light the way?
I don't know. I'm just reading something.
That's
this is history.
dumb.
This is like a long time ago.
That's dumb.
This is like when they used to put like candles on Christmas trees.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Can we put candles on Rooney?
No, Claudia, that would be bad.
For those of you that don't know, Rooney is like a, 15-foot topiary?
Topiary, yeah. That it would burn down, probably. Okay. Yeah, the board's here today, so great job. All right, question number 2. No one has any points. Let's move on. In what century did the practice of trick-or-treating begin? Is it A, 16th century, B, 20th century, C, 14th century, or D, 18th century? Jessica.
18th?
She says the 18th century. She is incorrect. Claudia, what is your guess?
We go with the 14th.
She says 14th century, and she is also incorrect. It was the 16th century.
Wow.
So, yeah, you guys are not very good at this.
No.
Wow. Sorry.
All right, so after 2 questions, the score is 0-0. Let's move on to question number 3. From base to point, what is the order of colors on a piece of candy corn? Is it A, white, orange, and yellow? B,
Can I just go ahead?
Claudia, yes.
Yellow, orange, white.
She says yellow, orange, white, and she is correct.
Yes.
You know your candy.
My mom lives and dies by these things.
I like
How
candy
many
corn,
bags
too.
does she consume a year?
Way too many. And she eats them in order of the colors on them.
I
So
do
that's
that.
how I know. So sometimes I'll just go through a jar, like a bowl of them in our house, and just bite the white top off of all of them so that she can't eat any of them.
Wow, that's kind of rude.
It's kind of mean, yeah.
Yeah, well, you're kind of a mean person, so it works out.
Oh.
All right, after 3 questions, the score is Claudia 1, Jessica 0. Question number 4. If you want to keep spirits out of your home on Halloween, what should you sprinkle on your doorstep? Is it sage, garlic, salt, or holy water? Jessica.
Salt?
She says salt. She is correct.
Yeah.
According to tradition, salt can be laid around the boundaries of a room to prevent spirits and demons from entering. So that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It also ties the score at 1-1. After 4 questions, we'll move on to question number 5. According to superstition, if you stare into a mirror at midnight on Halloween, what will you see? Is it A, your death, B, dead ancestors, C, your future spouse, or D, Bloody Mary? Claudia.
Is it Bloody Mary?
She says Bloody Mary. She is incorrect. Jessica.
Can you repeat the other 3?
Your death, dead ancestors, your future spouse, or Bloody Mary?
Dead ancestors?
She says dead ancestors, and she is also incorrect.
Wow.
Apparently, it is your future spouse.
I was gonna say that, but then I was like,
How
that's not like creepy.
Is that supposed to be
That sounds, like,
frightening?
I don't.
scary.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe. I mean, you're gonna see nobody, so that's gonna be really frightening, Claudia, when you look in the
Elijah's
mirror
on
and
a roll.
see nobody. You're like, oh
It's
God.
already frightening looking in the mirror at myself, even not on Halloween. So
Yeah, I guess you're gonna see yourself back, and you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be married to myself all
be
the
like,
time.
ugh.
Whoopsie. All right, let's move on to question number 5. The score remains 1-1. It looks like we're only going to go to 5 here, guys. In It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, who does Linus mistake for the Great Pumpkin? Is it A, Charlie Brown, B, Pigpen, C, Snoopy, or D, Lucy? Jessica.
It's Charlie Brown?
She says Charlie Brown, and she is incorrect. Claudia.
Oh, I should have paid attention during this movie more as a child. I'm gonna go with Linus.
Well, that's unfortunate because that wasn't one of the answers.
What?
Who does Linus mistake for the Great Pumpkin?
Pigpen. Let's go Pigpen.
She's going with Pigpen. That is also incorrect.
Oh,
the correct
man.
answer is Snoopy. When Linus sees a shadowy figure rising from the moonlit patch, he assumes the Great Pumpkin has arrived and faints, but it's actually just Snoopy. So that was really bad. Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Question number 6. What product is banned in Hollywood on Halloween? Is it A, silly string, B, razor blades, C, toilet paper, or D, ski masks? Jessica.
Ski masks?
She says D, ski mask. She is incorrect.
Shit.
You guys are really bad at this. Claudia?
Oh, toilet paper?
She says C, toilet paper. Incorrect.
Is it razor blades?
The correct answer is silly string.
Oh.
What the heck?
An ordinance banning the toy first introduced in 2004 after complaints from Hollywood Boulevard property owners. It is only enforced on October 31st, and you could pay up to $1,000 in fines.
Wow.
Get a
Another
lot
one of them
children.
meaningless laws in America.
There's a lot of those. All right, question number 7. What ghost did Prime Minister Winston Churchill reportedly see in the White House? Was it A, Abraham Lincoln, B, George Washington, C, Andrew Jackson, or D, Willie Lincoln? Claudia.
I'm going to go with Willie Lincoln.
Willie Lincoln. Who is that, by the way?
That's Abraham Lincoln's, I think, second or third child, and he fell down the banister and died
In the White House.
in the White House.
Well,
yeah.
his ghost is not there because you're wrong.
Okay.
Jessica.
Was it Abraham Lincoln?
She says Abraham Lincoln. She is correct.
I've heard a lot about Abraham Lincoln, like, still being there within the halls of the White House, so I figured.
Yes, so apparently Churchill was at the fireplace and there was Abraham Lincoln and he said, "Good evening, Mr. President. You seem to have me at a disadvantage." He reported Lincoln then softly smiled and then disappeared. So what did we learn today? Winston Churchill is really weird. All right, the score after 8 questions is Jessica 2, Claudia 1, which means I'm going to go ahead and declare we are only going to 5 points because you can't get 5 points before the 10th question. So 5 points it is. Let's move on to our next question. What horror film is widely regarded to have popularized the found footage film technique? I don't know what that means, but whatever. The Blair Witch Project, Chronico, Cloverfield, or Paranormal Activity? Claudia.
Go with the Blair Witch Project.
She's going to go with the Blair Witch Project, and she is correct.
That's what I would have said.
So apparently that's like where they find films and then use it for the movie. I don't know. That's kind of weird.
I don't watch horror movies. My life is scary as it is.
It's very true. I was going to say that, but you took my thunder, man. All right, let's move on to our next question. What does it mean if you see a blue pumpkin while trick-or-treating? Is it A, Papa Smurf lives there? B, no trick-or-treating, please go away? C, support for veterans? Or D, allergy-free treats? Jessica.
Allergy free?
She says allergy-free treats. She is correct. Because welcome to our liberal society where everybody gets to play. The score is now 3-2. And by the way, I have allergies, so it's fine. What Halloween costume does E.T. wear? Is it A, Stormtrooper, B, Pumpkin, C, Ghost? Claudia.
He was a ghost.
She says Ghost, and she is correct. On Halloween, Michael and Elliot dress him as a ghost so they can sneak him out of the house. And we are now tied at 3. You guys are both 2 points away from finally winning this game. Thank God. What was the most popular Halloween candy in 2004? Because apparently this quiz is really old. Is it A, candy corn, B, Snickers, C, M&M's, or D, Tootsie Rolls? Claudia.
I'm going to go with Tootsie Rolls.
She's going to go with Tootsie Rolls. She is incorrect.
Can you repeat the others?
Candy corn, Snickers, and M&M's.
And what was the question?
Jessica,
Sorry. I'm sorry.
what is the most popular Halloween candy in 2004?
Oh, in 2004? A?
She goes with A, candy corn. She is correct. Claudia's mom must have been trick-or-treating that year because candy corn was the most popular candy. All right. Jessica could possibly win it with this one. How much does the world's biggest pumpkin weigh?
Oh, gosh.
Is it 682 pounds, 1,385 pounds, 2,096 pounds, or 247 pounds? Claudia.
I'm gonna go with 2,096.
She goes with 2,096, and she is correct.
Nice.
A whopping 2,096 pounds, which is as much
Same.
as a small car. You said it, not me. All right, so we are now tied at 4, which means if one of you guys get this right, you win. Here is possibly, but with your all's record, probably not, our last question. How many witches were burned at the stake in the Salem witch trials? Different Salem. Is it A, 33, B, 20, C, 3, or D, 12? Claudia.
I'm gonna go with 12.
She's going to go with 12. She is not correct.
3?
Jessica goes with 3. She is not correct. The correct answer was 20. So that was a lot.
Yeah.
Not great either. All right. Possibly our last question, maybe? Someone gets it right? What was the first individually wrapped candy in America? Is it A, Smarties, B, Laffy Taffy, C, Tootsie Rolls, or D, Mary Jane's? Jessica.
Mary Jane's.
She says Mary Jane's. She is incorrect. Claudia.
Oh, Tootsie Rolls.
She goes with Tootsie Rolls. And thank God we have a winner. That is correct. It is Tootsie Rolls. They were invented in 1907. Congratulations, Claudia. You are a winner of today's game. We're going to send you off with a Halloween song. We'll be right back with our next topic. You're listening to Front Burner on WRKE 100.3.
Working in the lab late one night.
And welcome back to Front Burner. Republican lawmakers say they're approaching the end of their investigations into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election, even though the most politically explosive issue, whether associates of Donald Trump colluded with the Kremlin, remains unresolved. That will present Democrats who have spent a year amplifying suspicions about Trump's own ties to Russia with a wrenching choice: to join Republicans and set aside the most momentous aspects of their probes, or to break with the GOP and end any chance of presenting a unified front against a continuing Russia threat. Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Richard Burr of North Carolina has suggested his panel's investigation will end early next year, emphasizing that he wants to wrap up in February, ahead of the first 2018 primary elections. Yet, we haven't heard from Robert Mueller at all. How much longer will this go on?
I think we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but it's been a year now, people.
Let it go.
The Democrats are upset that the Intelligence Committee is finally getting close to wrapping it up. But why are you upset about it? Aren't you tired of talking about this?
Yeah.
I'm tired of talking about it. Shouldn't they be over it by now? Like, I think it's a good thing that this Intelligence Committee is finally saying we're close to being done. Like, they're still talking about February. It's not going to end tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's still going to be a long time. And like you said, we haven't heard anything about Robert Mueller at all.
Yeah.
How long is that going to go on for? Are we going to be doing this all 4 years of the Trump presidency? Is that really healthy for America?
Is it really healthy for the people in Congress? Because, I mean, if you're so against all these policies that Trump's putting in place and all the things that Trump and his administration are doing or want to be done, why aren't you focusing on
stopping him.
Countering those
Right.
policies, or speaking out, or using your platform to talk to your constituents and win in 3 years. Why are you still harping on something that you can't change? Mm-hmm. And no matter what you find, isn't going to change anything.
Right. Here's the thing. I don't know if Trump did it or not. I really don't. But I feel like at this point, if they're going to find, like, truly damning evidence to pin him to this, they would have already found it.
Right.
So whether or not he did it, I feel like this is a lost cause for them. And they're going to keep harping on this as an excuse for why they lost, and they're never going to be able to get over it. And that's going to hurt the country. Mm-hmm. Because no matter what, you have to have, like him or not, you have to be able to trust your president at least a little bit. And with this cloud of suspicion over him for all of his presidency, if that's what ends up happening, that's bad for the country. Because it's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
It's not going to change anything. You guys have been looking for a year now, and you haven't found any hard evidence. Because if they had found any, he'd be in jail right now. You and I both know that.
Yep.
Or he wouldn't be in office.
Or he wouldn't be in office.
And I mean, whether or not Russia tampered with the election, whether or not they had anything to do with influencing voters, I honestly don't care. Because
Right.
I think it says more about us as Americans that we're that influenceable by ads on social media or however else they did
Right,
it. It
because
says more about us than them.
We
or
also
Trump's
have to step
association.
back a little bit and think about, because I feel like this word influenced is being used almost misproperly.
Right.
Because it's not like hacked the voting machine and changed the votes. This is like putting ads on Facebook or like releasing things that Clinton did illegally. You know, this is not like...
It's helping people form an opinion because they're so consumed in social media that can easily be tapped. And that
Right.
says more about you as a person and a voting citizen than it does about any overarching power that put it there.
Right. And do I want Russia messing with our elections? No, I do not. Do I think Trump worked with Russia? I don't know. I'm not saying that he didn't. All I'm saying is you're not going to be able to pin it on him a whole year later. So give it up.
Yeah.
Stop trying so much. Jessica, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, with the date of conclusion, it does seem like a long time away, especially because we have been dealing with this for such a long time with no resolve. But within that time span, I'm just anxious to see what they'll say, what they'll conclude about Mueller and the FBI and Steele, the investigator who has, been like, who's the one who supposedly got the information from Russia. But, I mean, I'm just interested to see what kind of conclusion they'll come up with, especially now that it's come to the public that the Democratic Party also is right in there with them.
Right. I agree
with
with
those
you.
alleged accusations.
So our summary to you, Congress. Get him out of office or shut up about it. Pick your poison. When we come back, we'll talk about what could be living in your ear on today's WTF News Story. You're listening to Front Burner on WRKE 100.3.
We now go to... Okay, what the...
So a woman in India went to the hospital with long-lasting headaches and a nagging pain and tingling inside her right ear that all started when she fell asleep on her porch. When medics at the hospital investigated, they made a sickening discovery. The woman's painful headache was caused by a spider living inside of her ear. Stomach-churning footage that I watched, sadly, shows the 8-legged beast crawling out of the woman's head while she was being examined by doctors. The doctor, whose name I can't come close to pronouncing, said, quote, "It's rare to see a live spider moving inside someone's ear canal." Well, no crap, but I'm glad it's rare at least. The patient said, quote, "I was terrified as I could feel movement of a creature in my ear. The acute earache followed by sharp pain suffocated me. I couldn't think of anything and was petrified when the doctor confirmed presence of a spider in my ear." Oh my gosh, that's disgusting.
This makes me want to wear earplugs to bed for the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
I mean, I found one on my pillow one time when I was camping. That was the most disgusting thing in my entire life, and I didn't sleep at all, and we left the very next morning. I couldn't imagine finding one in my ear.
I have to wonder how they actually got it out, you know?
It came out.
Well, if it's just chilling there, what prompted it to leave?
They like got a light in there and everything else, and it was like,
Hopefully
I don't
it didn't
like this
plant any
anymore.
eggs.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
That would probably kill her.
Yeah, it would.
I didn't think about that.
Well, I just think about like sticking a Q-tip in my ear can sometimes be really sensitive.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine something living and moving around in there that close.
Yeah. Like all the way down, like in the actual canal, because like Q-tips like don't really even go in that far, and like you said, I mean sometimes it can be like real touchy.
Yeah.
So an actual spider,
Oh
like
my-
down in there, there are very few things that I can actually imagine that would be worse than that.
I mean, I don't really know what to say about this. It's so gross. I mean, the doctor said it's rare to see a live spider moving inside someone's ear canal. Like I said, good that it's rare, but like, I thought it was common. Gee, doctor, thank you for that. I thought it was common. Like, I don't know. That's really gross. I don't like any kind of bugs, especially not spiders, and especially not places like my ear. I found one in my bathroom and I like freaked out. Just because it was like anywhere near my room, and
Yeah.
ear, man, it's a bad place. So
Yep.
if you feel something crawling around in your ear on Halloween, it's probably a spider. We'll be right back. You're listening to Front Burner on WRKE 100.3. Welcome back to Front Burner. For local news, we want to focus today on one of our own that needs our help. Ryan Hedgepeth, a senior standout on the Roanoke College volleyball team, was seriously injured in a car accident last Thursday in West Virginia. She is currently in the intensive care unit at Charleston General Hospital in West Virginia and suffered multiple broken bones, including a couple broken bones in her back and 2 collapsed lungs. All of Ryan's ribs are broken, and she also broke several bones in one of her arms. She can move her right arm and point to letters on a card and spell out a few words, but that's about it. The plan is to fly her to Atlanta on Monday for extensive therapy, where she's expected to be for 6 to 8 weeks. During fall break, Ryan had been visiting friends at the University of Pittsburgh, and she left Pittsburgh at about 5 a.m. last Thursday to drive back to school for a 10 a.m. practice when the single-car accident occurred. The accident occurred about 7 a.m. last Thursday on Interstate 77 in Charleston, West Virginia. Her only passenger was her dog, who suffered a broken leg in the crash. Police believe she may have hit some loose gravel and ran off the road, and her car flipped several times. Ryan has already undergone 1 operation on her back and 1 surgery on her arm, but she will need several more surgeries during recovery. Ryan and her family need your support, and friends and family have set up a pair of ways to help. You can go to www.gofundme.com/4LPCVLS. That's gofundme.com/4LPCVLS. You can also go to custominc.com/fundraising/Ryan and Blue Strong. That's custominc.com/fundraising/Ryan and Blue Strong. And on behalf of all of the staff here at WRKE, we wish Ryan a fast and easy recovery. We wish her family strength and her doctors knowledge. We are all Maroons, and we are all Ryan Strong. We'll be right back.
Everybody needs a place to call their home. Everybody needs someone to call their own. Even when you're lonely, no, you're not alone. You're one of us, one of us, one of us, one of us. You're one of us, one of us, one of us, one of us.
Welcome back to Front Burner. So Halloween weekend begins in just a few hours, and your friends at Front Burner want to help you by pointing out some costumes that are actually for sale online that you should definitely avoid.
Number 1, a Holocaust victim. In the past, celebrities, more than one, have been called out for dressing up as Nazis on Halloween. No, it's just as bad. Dressing up as a Nazi's victim. Several retailers recently came under fire for selling an Anne Frank costume for little girls. Some places have pulled it after customers complained, but other online stores continue to offer it as World War II evacuee girl or child's 1940s girl costume?
Why would someone think that's a good idea?
No.
No! Why is that a good idea?
I guess if you wanted to, I'm going to play a devil's advocate, if you wanted to interpret that as a good thing, I mean, Anne Frank was pretty incredible, but you don't dress
I don't
up
know.
for that
Come
as
on now.
Halloween.
I don't know about that.
Well,
that's pushing it a little bit.
It's tone deaf and frankly just wrong.
That was a good one.
Y'all did not see that one coming, right?
No, I did not.
Number 2, someone transgender.
Oh, gosh.
A, quote, tranny granny costume was pulled from Walmart after facing backlash from consumers who pointed out that it mocks and satirizes transgender women, in addition to using a transphobic slur. While this one is especially offensive, any costume intended to insult trans people, such as a Caitlyn Jenner costume, should be avoided.
Agreed. But 2 years ago, there was this Caitlyn Jenner costume. I don't think it was for sale. Someone made it, and it was a guy, and he was split right in half, and half of it was an Olympic track outfit,
That's
and the
funny.
other half was a dress. It was really funny.
That is funny.
I get it's
And at
insensitive.
that point, he's kind of just dressing up as a celebrity.
Right, and he was doing both Bruce and Kate. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get kicked off the air. Number 3, a refugee. With the Syrian refugee crisis frequently in the news, there may be folks who think this is a good topical story to take inspiration from, but no, it's not. No, don't.
Yeah, that's not okay either.
That's too soon.
No.
Too soon.
I don't even know, if I were to look at somebody and be like, what are you? They'd be like, I'm a refugee. I'd be like, oh.
And in contrast to that, a terrorist, whether it's a member of ISIS or someone who's committed a horrifying mass shooting, we can all agree that it's a bad idea to dress up as a terrorist. And you might get attacked.
Yeah, that would definitely ensue fear.
Yeah. And while we're at it, let's cross dictators off the list, too. That's probably not a great idea either. Another bad one would be zombie versions of recently deceased celebrities. We've lost a lot of icons recently, so it's understandable if you want to pay tribute to them in costume form. Dressing up in their iconic outfits is one thing, but a dead or undead zombie version of them brings to mind the phrase, too soon. Especially with someone who died of tragic deaths or took their own life or something like that. There was Robin Williams was a popular one last year, and it's a little much. It's a little much, especially one of the ones that had a rope around its neck. A little much. Yeah, little much.
In addition, O.J. Simpson and Nicole Simpson. Between Simpson's recent parole and the popularity of last year's miniseries, The People vs. O.J. Simpson, it's likely that there will be more than a few people who use it as inspiration for their Halloween costumes. Probably not the best look.
I don't know why. The guy's out of jail now. Why can't we make fun of him?
Doesn't remove him of his guilt.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He's out of jail, so we're not making fun of the fact that he's in jail or something like that. Why don't we bring it up? I don't know. I don't know why that one's controversial. I wouldn't dress up as O.J. Simpson, but I don't know. I feel like that one's not a bad one.
All right, we'll add another one to the list. A national tragedy. Remember those 2 people who dressed up as the Twin Towers after 9/11? Yeah, don't do that. And
No.
another one,
No, don't
Hillary
do-
Clinton.
Oh, gosh,
If the theme is a national tragedy.
Exactly. Under national tragedy, Hillary Clinton would not be a great costume because that is an international tragedy. And finally,
Cosmic proportion.
Harvey Weinstein. Also too soon. But remember, if you decide that you do want to dress up as that does not give you permission to touch people. Or in Harvey's case, touch yourself. We're all going to hell for this segment. We'll be right back. You're listening to Front Burner on WRKE 100.3.
Welcome back to Front Burner on WRKE 100.3. Today, I am ironically #heated about the approaching cold weather. I am not a fan of cold weather at all. It's inconvenient, and I would much, much, much rather prefer really warm, like 80 to 85, so I can wear sandals and shorts and sundresses and walk around and not be miserable. And also, since being in college, I have to walk to all my classes. It just makes it even more inconvenient, so I'm heated about the cold.
Okay. Claudia, what are you hashtag heated about?
I feel that there are a lot of people on campus that could identify with me in saying this, but I am increasingly finding myself in situations where I feel I can do my job better than my adult boss can. And it not only is a bit disheartening, but it's really confusing to me that they're being paid to do a job that my 19-year-old self can do better in a more organized way, in a more productive way, in a more efficient way, and that they're relying on me to be responsible enough to carry the weight of their job. It really bothers me, and I feel like this also transcends into the political sector, with some people being in office or being given jobs within an administration at Sean Spicer that they cannot handle, and there are plenty of qualified people in this country with degrees and experience to be able to handle that job that don't have it.
Wow, I don't know how to follow that. That was good. I'm impressed. All right, so I'm gonna complain a little bit about one of my favorite companies, Apple. Hashtag heat over the pre-order thing last night. So I get up at 2:45 in the morning because it's midnight California time, not midnight regular time, because that's stupid. That was stupid, first of all. Second of all, I get up and the Apple store has been down since like before I went to bed at like 10 o'clock last night. It's still down at 2:45 in the morning when pre-order starts at 3 o'clock in the morning. So what are you doing, Apple? You got like some of the biggest servers ever and you're not making it work. So I had to go to Verizon and buy it online, which worked out great because I actually got to do it like 5 minutes before 3 a.m. So I will be hopefully getting it on ship date, which is great. But Apple, holy crap, you are one of the biggest companies in the entire world. You can't get a freaking website that will work on the launch day of what's supposed to be your biggest smartphone? Really? Are you that stupid? Hashtag heated. We'll be right back with our last words. You'll listen to Front Burner on WRKE 100.3.
Things we lost to the flames, all that I adored.
Welcome back to Front Burner, and sadly we are almost at the end of our show, which means it's time for our last words. Jessica, what are your last words?
As always, thank you to my parents for tuning in, and for everybody else, all of our other listeners. To everybody on campus, have a safe Halloween weekend and enjoy yourselves. And, of course, Elijah and Claudia, it is an absolute pleasure working with you all.
Thank you. You as well, Jessica. And also, on one of your points there, if you guys didn't know how to have a safe Halloween weekend, Thomas Rambo has sent out an email so that you can know how to have a safe Halloween weekend. So, just a fun fact there. Claudia, what are your last words?
All I have to say, I just would like to extend a congratulations to all you people this Halloween weekend who get to be anything other than yourselves.
You are on fire today. Wow, I don't know how to respond to that.
You don't have to.
Is that all? That's it?
That's all.
Okay, that was strong last words. Actually, I don't know if you guys have picked this up yet, but this whole segment's kind of a play off, when someone's about ready to be executed, they get to do their last words. And just like a week ago in, I believe it was Alabama, someone, the warden was like, "What are your last words, sir?" And he said, to my family, I'm okay, I'm ready. To the state of Alabama and all the people in it, F you all. But he actually said the F word and then flipped them off. So that was stronger than Claudia's, but not by much. All right, my last words are this weekend and Monday is finally the premiere of War of the Worlds. We're very excited about it. The cast will get to hear it on Sunday, and we'll be playing it right here on WRKE at 6 p.m. on Monday. You can listen on 100.3 FM Salem, online at WRKE.org, or on the TuneIn app, search for WRKE. We'll be beginning our coverage with kind of an interview with a lot of the cast members beginning at 5:45 on Monday. It's really good. I promise you're not going to want to miss it, and it's perfect for right before Halloween. We'll be back right here next Friday, same time, same place, 4 p.m. on WRKE. Until then, have a great weekend and have a great week. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Front Burner. You can catch brand new episodes every Friday at 4 o'clock on WRKE 100.3 FM Salem, online anywhere at WRKE.org, or on the TuneIn app, just search for WRKE. You can also check back right here at the beginning of every week to hear last Friday's episode.